Hello everyone and welcome in this week Warriors Den. I'm telling you right from the get-go, this is going to be a short show. It's the event is concluding today, but we are preparing something cool for next week that I'm gonna touch on in just a few minutes. But it is a short show, some news, some tournament, dev talk, and a community corner, and then you're gonna be off to go back on the battlefield. So some news: a Black Priors riposte. It's the last time I say that word. Like I dare. No, this won't happen again. Riposte will not be in an event name again, I promise you. The Black Priors Riposte event is now over. The bundle is up until next Monday, which is April 1st. April 1st. You know the April Fool Day? So that's next Monday. So the bundle is there up until next Monday. Also, one thing you will see regarding the content of the week. You will notice that we won't have new content every single week now. It's because we want to focus on the things which has more quality and the content that you want. Like think executions, emotes, podium, poses, effects, elite outfits, and less battle outfits. Come on. Just that was worth having the Warriors Den today. So again, there'll be less content, and there will be less battle outfits. So we hear you, but to compensate for that, for not having new content every week, we will have more sales on the content already in game, so you have a chance to grab what you've been eyeing for a cheaper price. Speaking of which, this week, all ornaments, who are usually 5,000 steals, are in sale for 3,000 steals. So if you want ornaments, this is a good week to get those. They are on sale for the week. So tournaments, by the way, tournaments, if you are tournament organizers, tournament participants, send us stuff. Who won? Who lost? Did something incredible happen? Do you have a clip? Like, send it our way. We want to showcase more and more what's been going on in the community about tournaments. And in a couple of weeks, we'll have somebody to talk about that with us on the show. I cannot say more. But very soon, somebody will join me on the couch to talk about tournaments. Somebody you probably know already. But I'm not saying more, I'm teasing you. So, speaking of tournaments, there is one in Russia. Max did a Google Translate for me, which I will not try to say because I don't want to offend our Russian friends. It's a 2v2 combat tournament. It's Battle Lawless on PC this Saturday, March 30th, 3 p.m. GMT, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Same Battle Lawless as last week. And right now there's over 25 teams. So let's get in. The price is about 500 rubles at the moment, and it could increase. And I love the other one, the Devil's Duel. Ta-ta-ta. The Devil's Homemade Duel Tournament is the first one on PlayStation 4 this Saturday, March 30th again, 7 p.m. Center Time. It's ECET. Okay, those time difference, I really need to learn about them. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, so this is it. And next week, so I was saying that we're preparing something cool for next week. We are preparing a Q&A panel for next week. So get ready. Look out for a post on Reddit that we're going to put up very soon. And send us your questions. We're going to have 3 people on the show. 3 people! This is going to take forever. We have Stephen Jowinski that you already know. Stephen will be in to talk about fights. Christian Diaz. You see Christian usually at the beginning of a season or during events when he comes and presents all those cool artworks that we have in the game. So Christian will be with us on the couch next week to talk about arts and to answer your questions. So if you're wondering how those things are happening, now's the time. Christian will be there to answer. And Philippe Grégoire, who was with us last week. Philippe is a game designer. He's doing arcade. He was with us last week when he played arcade, the challenge of the week. And from what I remember, he didn't succeed. He was with a partner and they didn't succeed. So send questions for those 3 people. They know when the post will be on Reddit. Maybe Alex will let me know. And I'll be able to let you know when the post will be there so you can go and ask questions. New arcade weekly quest this week. Down the rabbit hole. Strange rumors have spread about Masters Barrancas the Prior. Oh, we're going with colors. I need to restart my thing then. I need to bring more emotions. Down the rabbit hole. Strange rumors have spread about Masters Barrancas the Prior and his legion of raving warriors who roam the lands of Ashfell. So you're going down the rabbit hole. It's going to be quite interesting. Trust me. What's weird in the game? You'll see, we encourage you to go and check the maps in the next couple of days. I don't know when this will happen. You might see some weird stuff happening in the maps. Stuff that you never saw before. And you might wonder what it is. Well, you can bring your theories online about that. That's going to be very fun to read and to check out. So we're moving on already to the Dev Talks. I told you it was a short show. So for this week's Dev Talks, I had a chance to sit down with Edgar Orlando Oliva. You've seen Edgar a couple of times on the show. He's a level designer. And Edgar is like super passionate guy. He's the kind of guy when they work on something cool on the maps, he will ping us and say, guys, I have this new thing. You need to check it out. We're making changes on this map. So it was a pretty long one, actually, and we had to shorten it. So let's check it out. Hello everyone, in this week's Dev Talk, we are meeting Edgar Orlando Oliva, level designer on For Honor.
Yep.
Welcome aboard,
Thank
Edgar.
You. Thanks for having me.
So it's a pleasure to have you. You've been on the Warriors Den a couple of times.
Yep, quite a few.
So you're a level designer on the project.
Yes.
So first question is, what does a level designer do? And don't answer me, I design level, because this would be a very short interview.
Actually, this is something I've had to explain to many people outside of the video game industry over the years. So the way I always like to explain it is a digital architecture. So in a sense that, I make the structure from the ground up, the gameplay space, the environment, and I don't have to worry whether the building collapses or not if it's built up to code. You know, it's just, this is made for fun gameplay environments depending on the game. So obviously for a shooter, you want to, where do you take cover? Where does the enemy come in from? If it's a single player game, narratively speaking, what's the story elements so level design really plays with a lot of other departments, whether it's art, storytelling, and cinematics, stuff like that. So for a game like For Honor, obviously it's more simplified when it comes down to fighting spaces and like dual areas, or depending what the game mode is. It's a lot more, you have to be very aware of the metrics of the map, so the distances from your spawn point to the objective, if it's balanced with the other team.
Ledges,
yes. Adding or removing ledges.
Yeah,
a lot of that happened last year.
So what piqued your interest to come work on For Honor?
So after I finished Far Cry 4, little anecdote, I ended up going on vacation for a month to Nepal because I was so inspired just from doing level design on Far Cry 4. It was just like, okay, I gotta go visit this place. I have to see it for myself and everything. And so when I ended up coming back from vacation, I was contacted by Jeffrey Spicer at the time, a really cool guy. And I interviewed with him and Jeff Eleanor, who was our director of level design. And I told him how much personally I would love to work on something that wasn't a shooter. And I had a mild interest in fighting games and combat games. And so I used to love the Onimusha games. I used to love Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, because you shared your obsession for Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But you also told me when you were 13, you had an obsession for Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was my first video game obsession. I remember me and my brother, at the time we were probably like 12, 13 years old, we would tell our parents we're going to go out for a bike ride, you know?
Going to the arcade.
We would get on our bikes and
we all played that. Okay, for the younger crowd out there, an arcade is a room with big machines. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But that's where we're going at a time to play good games with good graphics.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's where we needed to go.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with my friend Philip.
Okay, and literally we would get on our bikes, not even 2 minutes, turn the corner, and there was a little convenience store. It was like one of those Indian convenience stores. And so they would sell all these spices and all that from India. And they had an arcade all the way in the back. And we would just spend 2 hours just playing Mortal Kombat. And to this day, if I smell Indian food, I think of Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So his parents thought he was going for a 2-hour bike ride and actually was playing Mortal Kombat for 2 hours.
Yep.
So that's linking your interest and the fact that you worked on For Honor.
Yes.
Because you're a good player, from what I remember.
I mean, after the stuff I've seen from pro players, I'd say
but it's like watching the NHL and saying, I played junior in hockey. You're still a good player.
Yeah. I can very much hold my own. Okay. Yeah.
So now let's move to the tricky question. And I know for this it's going to be an interesting because there's not a simple answer. Are you a knight, a Viking, or a samurai?
Okay. So as you
look at the shirt.
Yeah. So guess what? Okay. So I'm gonna have to grab this one first.
So I told you it's going to be a discussion that.
Okay. I hate to give such a long-winded answer, but what the hell?
Okay.
So I grew up loving Ninja Turtles. That was, as a kid, I had and I think as a result of loving Ninja Turtles so much, they have kind of that little element of Japanese culture in there, with Shredder and all that background and everything. And so slowly but surely, my interest over time from playing a lot of Japanese-made video games, after that, Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, stuff like that, I really became more and more interested in Japanese culture and all that. And I ended up doing martial arts later on in life. So yes, I gravitate towards the samurai very much.
But
it wasn't until I joined For Honor that at the time we only had 2 characters when I joined in, the Warden and the Oni. Yeah, the Oni, which
the Orochi.
Exactly. And everybody on the project would pick the Oni because he was OP. And the Warden was, like, they weren't on the same level. You had the Warden and you had the Oni. So I wanted to be the guy who didn't pick the OP character to kick someone else's ass. I wanted to learn the Warden and kick the Oni's ass. And that's really when I started gravitating towards the Knights. So this left me in a weird dilemma of what faction am I? And when For Honor first came out, I straight went to the Warden faction. When they ask you to pick your faction, I was a Knights faction. And I started, after maining the Warden, I went on to Lawbringer. And having those 2, in my pocket, I was just like, okay, I'm a Knights faction guy. Over time, and here's the other thing. I also made a really cool shield emblem that was only possible with the Knights, kind of the triangular one. And when I would look at the rectangular shield of the samurai, I'll be like, I can't replicate that same thing. It wasn't until this last weekend I actually replicated it using the different shapes of the shield of the samurai faction. And now I've fully crossed over into samurai now. So I've been with the samurai faction online, placing my war assets for like the past 6 months now. So yeah.
This is the
I'm
most
sorry
complete...
for such a long answer.
No, that's okay. This is the most complete answer we've got to that question. So
I'm definitely not a Viking. So
I know people will be happy about that. We had too many Vikings in the first series of interview that we did. And there's a little voice, which is you told me that, that you're responsible for quite a few of the Easter eggs.
Yes.
Can you share some?
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll save I'll share my favorite one, which did not take long. I thought I hid this well. Oh dear God, I think it was found in like the open beta. Okay, so the famous Mortal Kombat 2 bridge with the little guy on fire. So the story behind that Easter egg was in Mortal Kombat 2, you have a level that's on a bridge, and there's a second bridge in the vista that you see two little guys fighting each other. At the time, they had no animations for them, so they're just like standing there. And one guy was on fire, and I have no idea why he was on fire. So I just replicated that in Sanctuary Bridge for just the duels. I think you can only see them in duels and perhaps brawls, I think. So yeah, I replicated that in a little bridge in a vista. And I thought, you know, maybe people will see it, maybe not. Maybe it'll take a few weeks, months for people to notice it. And it was like, nope, boom, right away in Reddit, it was there. So I'm super happy about that one. And the other one that I did was in, maybe not everybody knows about this one. I'm a huge Monty Python fan of the Holy Grail.
Okay.
So obviously the famous Black Knight, who doesn't have any limbs and just a head and his torso. So in Citadel Gate, near the attacker spawn, there's a little area, actually behind you when you spawn, there's like a fallen trees. And behind that, I placed just a torso with the head on it, with some blood and everything. So.
And are there some that people didn't discover yet?
Yes.
Oh! Challenge.
Yeah. Well,
Can you say one and challenge people to go find it?
Okay. So I might have mentioned this one already, and a lot of people went on a hunt for it and still haven't found it. So it's in Gauntlet, which was a season. I forget which season it was, but it was the one with the bridges that collapse. And in that one, there's an Easter egg that is only, so I'll give out a hint, a better hint than I had last time. It can only be seen in the snow weather location of the map. So hope that helps people a bit.
Go find the Easter egg now.
Yeah.
Go find the Easter egg.
And one of the last Easter eggs I had put that people had already seen was one of my favorite movie of all time, just to prove that I'm a samurai, is Seven Samurai, the famous Akira Kurosawa movie from 1950s. And in Market Town, I had placed 7 swords, and with one sword in the middle being the tallest, which was from a specific character in that movie. So it was a little more subtle. You really had to be a huge film buff to know that one.
It's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Reddit before when people found it, so I know you like going on Reddit.
Yeah.
So
every day.
Every day?
Yeah, it's kind of like my early morning newspaper read, you know? So I just hit refresh every morning and I just read.
And you browse everything, you read? And
yeah, at least like most of what's on the first page.
Okay. So what was your favorite moment working on the game so far? And you've been on For Honor for how long now?
Actually, we're in December now, so 4 years.
4 years, wow.
Yeah.
So your favorite moment in those 4 years?
There's a lot. There really is a lot. You know, thanks to For Honor, it was my first opportunity going to E3 this year. This past year.
When we announced Marching Fire.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a big highlight in my life for me. I've been dreaming of going to E3
you came with me also in the preview tour in San Francisco.
San Francisco. Yeah.
And there was one YouTuber that you really liked. I remember that it was there.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and obviously just having the opportunity of going to San Francisco just for work and let me visit again. So I hadn't been back in over 20 years. So yeah, that was really amazing. Yeah.
And any other favorite moment?
Favorite moments? At one point, this is another trip that I did. It was something to do with GameStop Managers Convention.
In Anaheim.
I ended up playing on stage for the first time in my life, and
did you win or you lost?
I was playing against Frédéric Antoine Marcoux, who was here last time, and I beat his ass.
And any last word to our community as a conclusion?
Okay, please keep sending us feedback. Like honestly, this helps us the most. I know in terms of maps, we get sometimes the least amount of feedback versus, you know, characters and UI and stuff like that. But any feedback they can bring us is only helpful for us, and it helps us make better maps in the future. You know, much like the reworks of the dual arenas that we made, we tried to steer away from doing that in future maps. But yeah, I'm loving For Honor. I love playing For Honor at home. Even when my ass handed to me. It's all been great so far.
Good.
So yeah.
Ed, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us for another Dev Talk. And we are back. Look, this Dev Talk, Ed, he talks so much. This Dev Talks was over 21 minutes long originally. So we had to trim it a little bit. That's the thing. Like, I sit down with those people, and some of them, they really like to talk. Some of them, I really need to work hard to get information. But it was interesting. So again, just a Q&A. I'm coming back to the Q&A because some of you might have joined since I talked about it. Next week, there will be Q&A with Stefan Jawinski on the fight team, Christian Diaz, our art director, and Philippe Grégoire, game designer on Arcade. There's a post. It's up right now on Reddit. Go and check it out. Fire away. We're going to select the questions. They're going to be evenly split because as much as you have questions on balancing, Stefan will do other state of the balance in the future and other questions about that. So we really want to cover all the topics. So now we saw the intro for the community corner. So we have a couple of videos this week. We're starting with Mario Chapstick. Orochi commits Sudoku. Quick note, I was told it's called Seppuku and not Sudoku. So Sudoku is the thing with the numbers. I was really wondering how the fuck an Orochi would do Sudoku in the game. I was wondering if there was a new feature I was not aware of. It's not. Now from God's Art 4130. Don't blink, you're gonna miss it. Do a flip.
I'm going to jump! No! Oh! Do a flip!
This reminds me of my childhood friend with our pool. She was like, Daddy, 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 look, 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 Daddy, Daddy, look, look. And she was doing flips in the pool. 5 seconds video. Fuck, we have other videos of 5 and 6 and 7 seconds long. Those are, like today we decided to go short all the way around. Even if community corner is short. From Lumi Kendall, Vortiger's reaction to patch 2.06.1.
Through darkness.
In a month, Avenger and Games. From RT298, Orochi tames uncivilized shaman.
Holy shit.
Oh, I don't think so. Hello there. So uncivilized.
I like that. Next one from CJ Roswell, 4v1 Berserker. You're locked in here with me. I think I'm gonna like that one. Where were his teammates? Guys, what were you doing? He was alone against 4 dudes, and he won. That's the best part of it. Oh, RT's back. RT298. Femme Black Priors fucking dies. Oh, man, come on. Watch. So, RT, you're in the chat. Watch your language, man. In your name of a video. It's not like we've never used the F word ourselves. From us, Delgado. Poor Shinobi takes a spear in the rear. Can we see that again? Please. You see, RD, you could learn from us, Delgado. So takes a spear in the rear. From you to have me take a spear in the ass. So please learn. From Stelios the Lawbringer, quality teamwork.
Let's do it.
For me, a finishing like that with teamwork, it reminds me of the Art Foundation in the WWF in the 80s. Okay, maybe now, like more than half the people watching weren't born. But if you check the Art Foundation finishing move with Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Brett the Hitman Art, one of the best finishing moves in the history of professional wrestling. So, before going on the next video, and the last of the show will be Islander Eternal. And again, this is our last video, so I'm going to sign off now. We're going to go into this video. And don't forget, next week, big Q&A with Stefan Joinski, Christian Diaz, our art director, and Philippe Grégoire to talk about arcade. So next week will be much longer. This week was a short one, but a good one, I hope. So have fun, everybody. Have a good week and have a good fight.
They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear.